All right, welcome back to Hannity. We continue from beautiful Miami, no-income tax state, Florida. And we're here with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, Senator Marco Rubio, who really worked hard to get here in spite of working all late this afternoon. And also joining us now is the daughter of political refugees from Cuba, Florida Congresswoman. She's been a friend of the show for a long time and a friend of my radio show, Elvira Salazar. Great to see you.
Thank you very much and welcome to Little Havana, the heart of my district, the heart of the Cuban exile community. And we really wish that the Biden administration would be paying attention to us the same way that you are. So we thank you very much for doing this, putting the spotlight on what's happening in Cuba.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure. And from the time I met all three of you, you were all passionate about this issue. One question I have, when Joe Biden, now they've been facilitating this law breaking at our southern border, and basically nobody gets sent back. You just get, okay, it's not even catch and release. It's just write down your name, release, and we'll ship you off to another state. But if you come by sea, Joe is saying, no, you'll be sent back. Am I to read anything into that?
Well, I think what you read into it is that he is not paying attention to those people that are screaming on the streets of Havana, Libertad. You know, they're not saying down with the embargo, or we want more vaccines, or we want more food. No, they're saying we want freedom. And something that my colleague said here is that many demonstrations, you see the American flag. So what a coincidence that you're seeing the American flag for people that feel the oppression of socialism. Well, in this country, unfortunately, some people are spitting on it. Yeah. So that goes to show you that the socialism, regardless of what word you put in front or behind it, it doesn't work. And what I'm saying, Sean, and once again, we thank you, is that the Biden administration needs to pay attention to us.
Does everybody agree Biden has been missing in action? Everyone? You know, I think back, there was a time in this country when Ronald Reagan supported the freedom fighters in Nicaragua to fight their own battle, but they were fighting for the freedom movement there. And beyond the internet, which is brilliant, we need communication. Should that be on the table? The Miami mayor even said very aggressively. What are your thoughts, Senator? We'll start with you.
Well, I mean, the first thing is it took Biden 24 hours just to issue a statement.
Correct.
And then another 72 hours to say a second thing. And then they did some Zoom call with some people, and then it came back with some third weekend statement. So I don't think you can, right now, we can't even get him to do the internet. How are we going to get him to do anything else?
Correct.
That's the real challenge here with all of this. And,
by the way, if you missed Senator Rubio's Twitter timeline, it's now 8:30, not a word from Biden. It's now 10:10, not a word from Biden. I mean, I really think single-handedly you embarrassed him into finally making a statement.
It's just not a priority for them. And you have to understand, again, there's a segment of his voting base that actually thinks the regime is good. Yeah. That actually brags about the regime. Other people that openly say it. I mean, the Black Lives Matter Foundation said that how great. And I said, that's great. My office will help the Black Lives Matter Foundation immigrate to Cuba. We stand ready to help.
Great point. You're laughing. Governor, you're right. There are people that were nearly crying that I met on the way in here.
Correct.
They can't communicate now with their loved ones and their friends and their family. And the internet is crucial. I agree with you. You've been right about that. And I think there is great cowardice of Biden. Is there more we can do? What should the doctrine be if we talk about a doctrine?
Well, this is Western Hemisphere. I mean, you know, Monroe Doctrine. We want to have no influence of places like Russia and China. And I can guarantee you, if Biden is missing in action more, you're going to see China and Russia and some of those have even more influence on the island of Cuba without question. So I think you can work with the Organization of American States. I think you can work with other members of the international community to stand together and support people who are being oppressed. This should be a no-brainer given the history of 62 years of repression. Instead, you have Biden's administration having our own country be criticized for racism. They're inviting that. That's their priority, rather than helping folks who could really make a difference. So it's bizarre.
It's very bizarre.
Let me just.
All right. Now we turn to the radical organization known as Black Lives Matter, which recently voiced support for Cuba's murdering communist dictatorship. Joining us now with a full report. And there have been others that have praised Cuba over the years. Oh, let's see, Bernie Sanders, Michael Moore bragging about their great health care system. One of the dumbest things you've ever said. AOC and others. Full report. Our own David Webb is outside tonight with us here in Miami. David.
Hey, Sean, and by the way, I've been out here since this began. First, when they came out to the streets on a Sunday afternoon into the night. This is not going to end any time, and it shouldn't. This Cuba's cry for freedom is what we're seeing. But here in America, we have a Marxist-based organization, Black Lives Matter, say they care about black lives. What about Afro-Cubans? They don't, because communism doesn't know color, and Marxists like Black Lives Matter have come out, not tacitly but outwardly, and supported the Cuban regime against the people. They're a fraud, it's a grift, but they're a dangerous fraud and grift. And I went up and down Calle Ocho, spoke to so many people, including visitors, Cubans, sons, daughters, grandsons, granddaughters. I also spoke to people who have survived prison in Cuba, and believe me, they don't understand, but they do understand communism. They don't understand how anyone in this country, anyone supported by the Democrats, Socialists of America, can support communism, and we have that in Congress, and we have that in the United States Senate. I spoke to this one young woman. Just watch this. A lot of people in this country not only are concerned about this, but on the other side, there are people who follow the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, they say they're for black lives, they say they support the people, but yet they just came out in support of the communist government in Cuba. What do you say to Black Lives Matter?
I believe that if you fight for injustice against a group of people, what the Cubans are going through is injustice. So how can you allow or support this injustice against a group of people that are oppressed? If they are fighting against oppression of the colored people, guess what? There's colored people in Cuba too. What about their lives? Do their lives not matter?
She said it well, Sean. The world should be listening. Alicia Garza, Opal Tometi, Patrice Colors are multi-millionaire communists supporting the Cuban regime. Back to you, Sean, from outside Cafe Versailles.
All right, David, thank you. Joining us now is a Cuban-born democracy activist, founder of Cuba Decide. Rosa Maria Paya is with us as we also continue with Senator Marco Rubio. Governor Ron DeSantis is with us. Great to see you. You know, I will tell you, with all the people that I talk to out there, I find it inspiring. I know, you know, we take things for granted, right? We probably should all wake up every day and before our feet hit the ground, think, and, you know, the rest of the world doesn't live free. When I read the statistics about the poverty, widespread, it is so preventable. And yet this oppression goes on, and murder and death and no freedom.
Exactly, and not just that. In addition to that, there is a huge propaganda machinery portraying a very oppressive, dictatorial, totalitarian dictatorship of the one that we have in Cuba as a beacon of happiness, liberty, and even healthcare system when the people in Cuba cannot even find aspirins in the
Yeah, and you know, I really believe, and I discussed this earlier, that can you imagine Cuba 5 years from now, if this was a successful freedom, liberty movement? Could you imagine the investment? First of all, what beautiful geography. What incredible resorts would be built? What money and investment would go into the coastal towns, the jobs created, the wealth created? You know, people finally now prospering. They would have their first chance.
The Cuban people also imagine that. We also imagine so, and that's why we are asking for freedom and the end of the dictatorship. That's the only thing that we need to produce medicine and food and buildings and to be prosperous and a beautiful country that actually could be an example in the world.
Let me ask a quick question of our crowd. Show of hands or clap, maybe clap, it would be easier. How many people here have loved ones, friends, neighbors, relatives that you send money to because you know how badly they are suffering? A lot of people help people out in Cuba that are in Cuba now that you're helping. You're all raising your hand, but they can't see that all on TV. But because you're helping a lot of people that are pretty desperate. All right, we're going to take a break. Now, this is going to be fun. We're going to go outside. A lot of demonstrators, they've been outside from day one as this liberty movement has started, speaking out against the evils of communism in Cuba. They'll have their opportunity to talk to Governor DeSantis and Senator Rubio. As we continue live in Miami, it's Hannity on the Fox News Channel. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.